Hey everyone, ever thought about how someone can be like a total visionary genius,
Hmm.
but also kind of a jerk?
Yeah,
Well, that's what we're going to dive into today, the super complicated world of Elon Musk.
definitely complicated.
You know, you sent us that awesome YouTube video by Johnny Harris.
The problem with Elon
Yeah,
Musk.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So we're going to like unpack all that together.
It's a really good video. It doesn't like shy away from the contradictions. You know,
For sure.
we're going to look at his whole story.
Like the whole thing,
Yeah, pretty much from like his early businesses all the way to him now leading X.
which used to be Twitter, of course.
Right. Exactly.
It's a crazy ride, right? Like this guy wants to colonize Mars
Totally.
and make humans like a multi-planetary species and all that.
Yeah, but then he also seems to struggle with just like normal human interaction.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, that's one of the big things Harris digs into in the video.
Yeah,
It's a story about crazy ambition and an incredible innovation,
yeah.
but also some pretty questionable behavior. To understand how all those things can be true at the same time,
Yeah.
we got to go back to the beginning.
Okay, so take us back. Like, what was Elon Musk like before he was launching rockets and tweeting all the time?
Okay, so Elon Musk was born in South Africa in 1971.
Okay.
And unlike what some people think, he didn't come from a rich family.
Really?
No, his dad was an engineer,
Oh, okay.
not an emerald mine owner,
Huh.
although he did import emeralds.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so no silver spoon, but definitely some like entrepreneurial spirit going on there.
Oh, for sure.
The video mentioned he made and sold his first video game when he was only 12.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
And get this, he got $500 for that game.
What? At 12 years old?
Yeah. Clearly a sign of things to come.
Yeah, totally.
He later moved to Canada and then eventually ended up in the U.S.,
Uh-huh.
where he studied economics and physics.
Oh, wow.
But his real journey started when he dropped out of his PhD program at Stanford.
What?
Yeah, to co-found Zip2.
Oh, Zip2. Wasn't that one of the first online mapping services?
Yeah, that's the one.
I vaguely remember that from back in the day.
Yeah, back in 1995,
Yeah,
when the internet was just starting to take off. It was a huge deal.
it was.
He sold Zip2 just a few years later for a whopping $307 million.
Wow.
And his share was $22 million.
22 million at like what, 24 years old?
Something like that, yeah.
That's not even seed money. That's like a whole forest of money trees.
All right.
No wonder he was able to start his next venture.
Which was,
PayPal, right?
you got it, Musk used that money to co-found X.com,
Okay.
which later became PayPal.
The one we all know and love.
Exactly.
You're right.
Love to hate sometimes.
He totally changed the way we bank online.
He did.
And then he sold PayPal to eBay in 2002 for $1.5 billion.
Okay, at this point, he's got to be set for life.
Oh, yeah.
What was his cut of that?
A cool 180 million.
Wow. Okay, so we've got this like young, super rich entrepreneur who could like retire and live on a private island somewhere.
But that's not Elon Musk's style, is it?
Nope.
This is where things get really interesting with SpaceX and Tesla.
Totally. This is where his vision goes way beyond just making money.
Okay.
It's about pushing the limits of what humans can do.
Like changing the world,
Yeah, exactly. SpaceX was all about making space travel cheaper.
which he founded in 2002.
Right.
Okay.
By developing reusable
Oh,
rockets.
sure. Right.
And Tesla, which he joined in 2004, was focused on switching the world to sustainable energy with electric cars.
It's like he looked at these huge global problems and was like, challenge accepted.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But I imagine those early days were tough, like full of setbacks,
Well, for sure.
lots of doubts.
Definitely not overnight successes.
No.
SpaceX's first 3 rocket launches were total failures.
Can you imagine the pressure?
I can't even imagine.
But he didn't give up.
Not at all.
He just like doubled down.
Yeah. Took more risks and eventually achieved those crazy breakthroughs.
Reusable rockets.
Yeah. Which made space travel way cheaper.
And Tesla, despite some early problems,
Oh, yeah. They had some manufacturing issues.
totally changed the car industry.
Disrupted it, for sure.
It's that drive that's so fascinating.
It's relentless.
He actually said he was okay with Tesla going bankrupt if it meant a better electric car could exist.
Wow.
He's playing the long game.
Definitely focused on the bigger picture.
For sure.
And that focus goes even further with his other businesses.
Oh, yeah, like what?
The Boring Company.
With those tunnels.
Yeah, with the goal of building tunnels underground to fix traffic.
That's ambitious.
And then there's Neuralink, which is developing brain-machine interfaces.
That's straight out of sci-fi.
I know.
We can't forget OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT.
Right. And how can we forget that whole flamethrower thing from the Boring Company?
The burnt hair perfume.
The guy definitely doesn't lack a sense of humor.
Or a flair for the dramatic.
True, but while some of these things might seem like publicity stunts,
Yeah.
it's worth remembering that Starlink,
The satellite internet.
yeah, the one created by SpaceX,
Yep.
has been crucial in giving internet access to Ukraine during the war with Russia.
That's huge.
It is, but of course the story of Starlink's involvement is complicated.
Right, of course. Okay, so we've got this picture of Elon Musk, this brilliant, driven, sometimes eccentric entrepreneur who's pushing the boundaries in tech and business.
Yeah.
But where the video really gets into the problem
Uh-huh.
is when it starts looking at his leadership style and personality.
Exactly. It's not just about his big ideas.
Right.
It's about how he treats people.
Yeah.
And how he runs his companies.
Okay.
And that's where things get a little more complicated.
Okay, so we'll dive into all of that in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. So we're like right in the middle of figuring out the problem with Elon Musk thing from that Johnny Harris video.
Yeah, like trying to put together a puzzle where the pieces don't quite fit.
Exactly. We saw the inspiring visionary side of him.
Right.
But now we're looking at like the harder stuff,
Mm.
the parts that make people question his methods and all that.
Right? And his motives, too.
Yeah. We were talking about how his leadership style and personality seem to clash with all his big plans.
Uh-huh.
The video really goes there.
It does.
Like it explores that tension.
One of the most interesting things it suggests is that
What?
maybe Musk is addicted to crisis and attention.
Whoa.
It sounds kind of crazy at first,
Yeah, it does.
but when you really look at what he does, it starts to make sense.
Okay, walk me through this. Like, how does that addiction to crisis actually play out?
Okay, so Musk has said himself that he thrives in a state of, like, war.
War.
Yeah, he finds it unsettling when things are calm for too long.
Really?
Yeah, and his biographer, Walter Isaacson, actually shared some text messages from Musk,
Oh, wow.
where he talks about being uncomfortable with success and stability.
So instead of like relaxing and enjoying all he's accomplished,
Right.
he's always got to find the next fight.
Yeah, the next problem to solve.
Wow.
It seems that way, and Twitter, with all its drama and debate, became like the perfect place for this need for conflict.
Mhm.
He could stir things up,
Oh, yeah.
challenge everything, be in the middle of the storm.
So you're saying the video suggests his whole Twitter takeover wasn't just about free speech.
Right.
It was about feeding this addiction to chaos.
It definitely presents that as a possibility.
What?
Look at what he did.
What?
He boosted his own tweets artificially to get more attention,
Really?
amplified extreme voices, banned journalists who criticized him,
Seriously?
even sued media watchdog groups.
Mm.
It's a pattern.
Yeah.
He even posted a politically charged video about immigration and elections.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Almost 100 million people saw it.
It felt so weird even for Twitter.
Right.
It's like impossible to know if he actually believed what was in that video.
Right.
Or if he was just trying to provoke people.
Yeah, that's the constant question with him, isn't it?
Totally.
Is he being sincere or putting on a show?
Yeah.
It's this weird mix of genuine innovation and calculated provocation.
You never know what he's going to do next.
Exactly. But here's where things get really interesting.
Okay, tell me.
The video argues that in his quest for attention and crisis,
Okay.
Musk might actually be undermining his own vision.
The whole making humanity multiplanetary thing.
Yeah, and solving those huge threats like climate change.
Wait, so all the drama and distraction is taking him further away from his goals?
That's the argument, yeah.
Not closer.
Right, it's pushing away the very people he needs to make those dreams happen.
Like who?
The engineers, the scientists, the investors.
Yeah.
Even just everyday people who were inspired by him before.
Yeah, I get that.
They're starting to see him as more of a problem than a leader.
Yeah, you're right. There's definitely been a shift. Even his biggest fans are starting to question him.
Yeah.
It's almost like Shakespearean, like this fall from grace.
It does have a kind of tragic element.
Yeah, this brilliant guy capable of amazing things.
Right.
Wasting his potential on online fights.
Yeah. It's sad.
So back to that main question from the video.
Has he become the thing he set out to change?
Yeah. Has he become the problem?
The video doesn't give a clear answer,
Right.
but it makes us think critically about what he's doing
Okay.
and what the consequences are.
Yeah.
Remember, he was all about free speech,
Mm-hmm.
but then ended up with more government censorship on Twitter than before.
That's crazy.
And he wanted to build companies that would help humanity.
Right.
But his leadership was often missing basic human decency.
It's so confusing.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it?
It's like he's a walking contradiction.
Yeah, how can someone be so smart and yet so flawed?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think that's just human nature.
What do you mean?
Even the most brilliant people can have big egos.
Yeah,
Insecurities get caught up in power.
sure.
It's a lesson for all of us, really.
We'll see. What now? What does all this mean for Elon Musk and for the rest of us?
That's the big question. And the video doesn't give us easy answers,
Right.
but it does give us some important insights. It reminds us that even geniuses can mess up,
Yeah.
that power can be dangerous,
Okay.
and that progress has to come with a moral compass.
So it's not enough to just be innovative.
Exactly.
You have to be a good person too.
It also shows how important it is to hold our leaders accountable, to realize that their actions have real consequences.
Both good and bad.
And maybe the most important thing,
What?
it encourages us to think for ourselves,
Okay.
to question what we're told,
Yeah.
and to make our own decisions based on facts and logic.
So is there hope for Elon Musk?
Can he turn things around and become a force for good again?
Yeah. Can he balance his brilliance with his flaws?
That's how the video ends, with that question.
Has he become the very thing he was trying to change?
It's a question we all have to think about.
So here we are at the end of our Elon Musk deep dive.
Feels like we've been through a lot.
We have from like his early days.
Zip2, PayPal,
Yeah, all the way to SpaceX and Tesla,
and then that whole Twitter saga.
which is X now. That Johnny Harris video really gave us a lot to think
A
about.
lot to unpack for sure.
It showed us the genius part of Elon Musk, but also,
The not-so-genius parts.
yeah, it's hard to put it all together,
It is like, on one hand, he's changing the world,
Space travel, electric cars.
but then he's also being impulsive and abrasive.
And like picking fights online.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if all that's hurting the things he's trying to achieve.
Like, are his actions actually working against his goals?
That's a big question the video raises.
Well, one thing that keeps coming up for me is this whole paradox thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, Elon Musk says he's all about free speech.
Right.
But then there's more censorship on Twitter under him.
More than before, which is crazy.
And he talks about helping humanity.
Right.
But then his leadership style is...
Not very humane.
Yeah, it's a weird contradiction.
It really is. And I think
Yeah.
it shows what happens when someone has too much power.
Even if they have good intentions.
Yeah. Intentions aren't enough.
No, it's about what you actually do.
Mm-hmm. The impact you have.
And Elon Musk has had a huge impact.
For sure. Both good and bad.
So what does all this mean moving forward? What does this tell us about the future for Musk and for all of us?
That's the million-dollar question. And I don't think the video gives us all the answers.
Yeah.
But it does give us some things to consider.
Okay, like what?
It shows us that even geniuses can make mistakes,
Right.
that power can be dangerous, and that we need a moral compass.
Not just innovation for innovation's sake.
Exactly. We have to think about the human side of things.
I think it also shows how important it is to hold our leaders accountable.
Oh, yeah. We can't just blindly follow anyone
We have to look at their actions and what they're actually doing.
and question them when things don't seem right.
And maybe the most important thing,
What's that?
it reminds us to think critically,
Yeah.
to not believe everything we see and hear,
Right. To form our own opinion.
based on facts and logic.
Yeah, exactly.
So, is there hope for Elon Musk? Can he turn things around?
Can he balance his brilliance with his flaws?
That's the big question the video leaves us with.
Has he become the very thing he was fighting against?
It's something we all have to think about.
We do.
Well, this has been quite the deep dive.
It has.
We've learned a lot about Elon Musk, about innovation, about leadership.
And about ourselves, too, I think.
Yeah, what it means to be human in a world that's changing so fast.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
It's been a pleasure having you.
Likewise.
And to everyone listening out there, stay curious.